meeting will now come to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, Honorable City Council members, Mayor, Madam Treasurer, to our Deputy Clerk, our Chief of Staff, City Attorney, our administrative staff, those of you who are in the audience attending tonight's meeting, and to those who are viewing tonight's meeting via our broadcast channel on YouTube Live. Welcome to the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting, and today's date is Monday, September 23rd, 2024. Members of the public wishing to participate in this meeting may do so under the public comment portion of the agenda. Please fill out a request to speak public comment card, which is located on the table in the back, and then hand it to our deputy clerk. At this time, we will have a roll call. Councilwoman Abdo. Here. Councilman Barden.
Here.
Councilwoman Roscoe. Here. Councilwoman Talley.
Here.
Councilman Wadsworth.
Here.
Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
And Councilman Wilson is
Excused.
So noted. Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Tonight's regular council meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda, 2 minutes, 3 petitioner, 4 chairperson's report, 5 mayor's report, 6 clerk's report, 7 treasurer's report, 8 public comment, 9 unfinished business, 10 new business, 11 warrant, 12 communication, and number 13 is adjournment. And a motion will be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the agenda as presented. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. Agenda item 2, which are the minutes. 2A, for approval are the minutes from the regular meeting held on Monday, September 9th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m.
Mr. Chairman,
Wadsworth.
I'm going to move that we approve the minutes from the regular council meeting that was held on Monday, September the 9th at 7:30.
Need a second.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of minutes from our regular meeting held on Monday, September 9th at 7:30. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. There were no special meetings that were held on Monday, September 9th, 2024. Takes us to number 3, petitioner. Council, we do have petitioners on the agenda this evening. This is for a request for rezoning and a special land use request, Avis budget rental. We have 2 representatives that will be presenting to you. We have Mr. Carmen Aventini with CIB Planning and Jeffrey Luna with Avis. Gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind approaching the podium. And the floor is yours. And there is, again, a handheld mic for you if you need that.
Okay. Good evening. Yeah, thanks for having us. My name is Jeffrey Luna. I'll just kind of switch to the next slide here. Head of real estate for Avis Budget Group out of our world headquarters in Parsippany, New Jersey. And then I'm joined by Carmen Aventini with CIB Planning, who has been supporting our petition to rezone a property that we are needing for supporting our airport facility. And then we do have civil engineering here with us from Kim Horn, Brock. It's not Caleb. Brock is filling in for Caleb tonight. And he's available for any questions that may happen to come up as a result. So just a little bit of background, and then I'm going to turn it over to Carmen. Obviously, Avis Budget Group, we've been in operation at the airport for many years. We enjoy serving our mutual customers that fly in here to the Detroit area. We, of course, have our rental car facility, and the reason why we're here, of course, is that we're looking to develop an additional property with recent studies that have happened at the airport. There was a landside study that determined that instead of building a consolidated rental car center, which is kind of like a large parking garage, we would maintain our surface lots, which is similar, basically the same properties that we're in right now. I believe it encompasses about 65 acres or so, separated by the different car brands. And of course, we're Payless Budget, Payless Group. And we operate just Payless and Budget here on the airport. But it was determined that we would continue in those same surface lots, and we would go through a full project of family branding and consolidation of those family brands. In the present state, you have Budget on one side to the west, and then Hertz in the middle, and then Avis is on the far right towards the east. And so we'll be able to consolidate those facilities as part of a recent reallocation and RFP that the airport went through. What is needing to happen now, though, is because of that, we did lose a little bit of our on-site parking capabilities on the airport. We need additional support parking capabilities off-site. So we're looking at a development on Wick Road that will help to support that particular operation. And this will basically be an overflow parking lot. We're not going to have any sort of customer interactions there. It is really just meant to shuttle cars back and forth for servicing the needs of our customers. As you can imagine, we have varying days of needs, customers flying in, flying out, businesses flying in and out. And so in order to accommodate that and have a buffer, we have overflow facilities to be able to park additional cars and then move them to the lot in order to serve the customers. And so along with that, with the large project of reallocation on the airport, we also do need that space to be able to accommodate the construction operations that are happening at the same time. So I'll turn over to Carmen here to talk a little bit more about the zoning.
Thank you, Jeffrey. So, as Jeffrey indicated, there's going to be some impacts, but that result from this consolidation. They're actually going to lose spaces on the out of the existing lots that they currently have. And not only that, they have projections for future growth. So, if you're already behind the eight ball, and all of a sudden you're trying to deal with growth, and there's just not enough spaces on site for them. So they really do need to have this overflow lot, as we called it. The other thing it does too is it helps to ensure that there's no overcrowding on their existing, when they consolidate, that their new facility isn't overcrowded and they don't have a problem with overcrowding that results from that. There can be accidents within the site, there can be emergency calls and so forth. We want to make sure that they can provide a safe facility there, and by not having to keep all of their cars at that facility and having this overflow lot, it just makes it a safer location for them. Now, just a little bit of a background on this particular property for those who aren't familiar with it. Back in World War II, it was actually an ammunition factory location, factory site there. And the building's since been demolished, and the owners of the property, which is Wick Development LLC, they've used it on and off for parking vehicles there. But in actually 1998, there was a rezoning for the portion of the property that we're requesting rezoning for that was zoned MT previously. And it was rezoned to commercial, and the project that they were anticipating never came to fruition, so it didn't materialize. So, but it remained as a commercial property. It didn't go back to MT at that time. So you're probably familiar with the site. It's actually right behind, let's say it's behind McDonald's and the on Middle Belt, the restaurants there and the mini mart on the corner. And it's not in the greatest shape. It's overgrown, hasn't been well maintained. It's been vacant like that for many, many years. And obviously we'd like to see that change here. We've submitted a site plan. We went through the planning commission, and there are going to be a lot of improvements to the site. It's going to be paved. It's going to be used only as a temporary vehicle storage facility. We want to make sure that there's going to be no on-site maintenance. Nothing else is going to take place. There's going to be no customers It's only going to be used for the storing of vehicles, and there's only going to be, I think, like 10 to 20 trips a day. So it's a real low volume use. It's not going to have any real impact on the traffic in the area. We know it gets really busy at that intersection. That, all of Middle Belt Road is busy, and so this particular location will be low impact, and that's important too. And once again, only newer vehicles are going to be here. They're not going to have older vehicles. There also, a question came up early on, are you going to be selling vehicles from there? No. When they take their vehicles out of the rotation, they go to a dealership. They go to a specific Avis, budget dealership elsewhere. So none of that will take place here. So proposed improvements, there's going to be on-site stormwater detention that meets county requirements. We're going to have frontage landscaping along the front. And it's going to allow for screening, but also to allow visibility from Wick Road for the police department to be able to see into the site, because obviously security is a big thing for them. There's going to be new LED lighting, full cutoff, there won't be any spillover. And they're going to have security cameras throughout the site also. Wrought iron fencing is proposed along the west side, which backs up to the McDonald's and the other uses in there. And there will be meshing behind it, so you won't be able to see through it, okay? It's a black meshing material. And then on the other, and it's also going to be on the frontage of Wick Road. We're going to have wrought iron fencing there, but there will be landscaping, not the meshing behind it. On the other sides, there's going to be black vinyl coated chain link fence, and that's what the meshing looks like. It's like in a tennis court. So the key project benefits, it's good for the people that work there. It's good for the customers to have a safe, efficient lot, and this overflow lot will support that. It helps. The site's only half a mile from their current facility. Okay, so it's very close, and that was a big factor for them in doing that. Excuse me, I need a drink there. So it's close to their facility, makes it easier to bring vehicles back and forth, and that was a big consideration for them when they were looking at potential sites, limited impact on traffic, and once again, it cleans up a long deteriorated site. The zoning request, you can see right there in the pinkish color, that's the area we're requesting to be rezoned back to an MT, and once again, it was originally MT, and we've gone through the planning commission with site plan and special land use, and also the conditional rezoning request. There were waivers that were granted by the planning commission with this particular site, and as far as the only potential variance would be for the lighting. There hasn't been a decision made. It's either going to be 10-foot candles or less, or if they need higher, considering up to 15-foot candles because security and being able to inspect the vehicles, then they would go for a variance. That decision hasn't been made, but one or the other will be followed, so that will be complied with. And the result is there's going to be a significant investment in this property. And one of the key things that came up with the special land use is, well, I'll wait till we get there. I'll bring that up. So the conditional rezoning request will make it an MT zone property, but it will restrict it to this particular use. Okay, it will be a vehicle storage lot for the rental car company. That is the use category that it's going to fall under. There is a conditional rezoning agreement that's been worked on between our attorney and the city's attorney, Mr. Hitchcock here, and we've been working on that, getting it close, and I think we're very close on that, and that's going to be finalized administratively, okay, to get that exact wording, get that handled. Next is site plan review. Probably I've talked about everything that we're doing here. The one thing that wasn't mentioned, however, is we are going to be putting also a frontage sidewalk that will connect. There's sidewalk to the east and to the west of us, and this will make that connection. So that will also be accomplished along with all the landscaping that's going to be occurring up front. So it's going to be a pretty attractive and walkable location for this particular property. Special land use review, it isn't It is, this particular use in the rezoning is in accord with the master plan, the future land use designation of the master plan, which is industrial. And we've designed it in such a way to meet all the criteria, and it's going to be compatible with the surrounding, that was one of the criteria, compatible with the surrounding uses. So we anticipate with this site being cleaned up and presentable and made attractive, we anticipate that we'll have a positive impact on surrounding properties. That and some, could use additional upkeep and improvements. So hopefully that will lead to other improvements in that particular area where some of the sites are not as good. So with all of that, we're available to answer any questions that you might have.
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth.
If I can, I've got no problem with what you're doing. I think it's going to improve what's there at the present time, but is Metro Airport doing this to the rest of the rental cars? I mean, they're going to take, Alamo and the National.
Yeah, everybody is losing some form of footage on airport as a result.
Why are they doing it? I'm just curious. Why are they taking space away from you?
I'm not sure that I can answer that. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Yeah, our intention was we wanted to have a consolidated rental car facility on airport that was more convenient for customers and mutual customers. So keeping it as surface lots, we have to work within the
I know because I'm retired out of the airport, and they had talked a long time for up on Smith Road, just like in Las
for a
Vegas.
very long time, yes.
Just like in Las Vegas, one big building for everybody, but that's gone.
That's gone, yeah, and that's what we would have liked to have seen.
Sure.
Detroit is a very large airport. It's definitely within the top 50 of the United States. In fact, I couldn't tell you the exact ranking, but it will be one of the only airports that doesn't have a consolidated rental car center.
I think the reason they're doing that because it would become a taxable entity in our city if they had built the building off the airport.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. But yeah, to your question, yes, everybody's using some form of space.
Do you believe the rest of them are going to be doing the same thing?
A lot of them already do have some off-site locations already. I think, I don't know the name of the roads over there, but Enterprise, I know, has an off-site facility just to the east of the airport.
Okay, fine, I'm done. Okay.
Hertz is kind of increasing market share, so they
Chair.
don't
Thank you.
require as much. Thanks.
Ms. Talley.
Mr. Walters, that was actually my question too. What was the goal of the consolidation? You're saying you guys don't really know what the goal of the
Yeah, we're not
consolidation?
sure yet. Unfortunately, that hasn't been shared with us from
Okay.
authority.
So my next question is, as I was reading through this document, it says here, lots 4 through 6 are zone C2, general commercial, while lot Z7, easternmost is zone M2. I guess I'm curious to why so much emphasis placed on turning to M2 as opposed to turning M2 to C2. You know, why we can't be C2, why the emphasis so much is on MT, switching it back to MT? Because if you're saying that you're keeping it as it is and nothing's changed, we're not going to use all them uses in MT that it allows, why not C2?
Okay, well, the use that we're proposing doesn't fit into the C2. It does
Okay.
fit into the MT
Okay.
district. And that was one of the big questions that the planning commission had too. Okay, what about the future? Could this be developed for C2 uses? So we hired a respected market analyst to look at that property. And she prepared a report and we submitted it. And she said definitively, she said, this is not a good commercial site. She said, never will be, it isn't. And we really leaned on her expertise with that. And she said, it's never going to be a commercial site. Now, with that being said, one of the beauties of this site also is because we're not putting a building on it yet, down the road, if there's no longer a need for Ava's budget to have this lot, if their operations don't require it, it's a lot easier now to develop, to put a building on it, because you've already got the paved area, you got the stormwater detention and so forth. It'd be much easier to now develop it for an MT use, like an industrial use, for example. So there are a lot of reasons why it makes sense to have it as MT, again, which it was originally. And it's master planned industrial, not commercial.
No, I get that,
Yeah.
but, so you're saying the use as it is right now doesn't fit into the C2 mode?
Right.
That's what you said, it
Yes,
doesn't?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I need to get up to speed with that because it just didn't, you know, if you're not going to do anything besides put these cars on here and just park them,
Right.
I guess it's still in my mind, I need to, I guess, go agree with C2 as well. Because it, to me, there's just, going to MT just is really, y'all know what MT is, so I'm
Yeah.
just, you know, so I'm just, that was just
Yeah.
curious for me. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, yeah, if we could have done it in C2, believe me, we would have done it
Okay.
in C2.
Okay.
Ms. Williams?
This is, since this is not on airport property and it's actually, you know, still in the city of Romulus, do you have any idea of what type of taxes you'll be paying?
I would just be going off of memory. I can't remember exactly what it was. I thought it was in the 10 to 15,000 range. I could be completely off on that, though.
Is that a year or is that a cycle?
I honestly don't know. I apologize.
That's, money always make a difference,
Yeah, I
so.
think, as far as like the taxable is concerned, I'm not 100% sure, but maybe one thing I will say is the investment in the property is close to about $3 million that we would be looking to invest within that area. So the valuation of that certainly is going to rise, and I just don't know what that will be after we put in those improvements, including the biggest aspect is the it's not going to be underground, but the above ground water retention basin. That is a significant investment that is going to really change the value.
Right. And I wanted to know because I spoke with our building director earlier today, and that was one of my main questions, will you be paying taxes? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, that's what the residents, we want everybody to pay their fair share. And it would have just made a little bit more sense. I mean, I think it's a great project. I see where that area over there on airport property is congested. It really is. And so you move into storage, a lot of those with, what is it, Avis and Budget?
Budget, yep.
It makes sense. But I just wanted to make sure that you was gonna make sure you take care of us as a city.
We are responsible for all taxes on that property.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So that was my concern, because as I was speaking with our building director earlier today, he gave me all the details, even the different items that you went through in the presentation. And so I was really glad that somebody is doing something with that property, because we do have a lot of empty properties in Romulus that has just been desolated. And so thank you so much for investing in our city.
Thank you. Yeah, we appreciate it. Our understanding is that it's been vacant since '98, and so this is a good opportunity.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
John.
Ms. Roscoe?
I'd just like to thank you guys for the presentation. You did a great job at the Planning Commission and a good job tonight, as always. And, but, there's not any impact to residents over there. There isn't any. And it's going to clean that whole area up and connect those sidewalks, which, we really appreciate it. We're all about having places to get people off the road when they're walking. And, but I just want to thank you guys for a really nice job you're doing on this. So, but if nobody else has any other questions, we have 2 motions we need to make on this.
Okay.
Are we all set?
Ready.
And I'll make the first motion to concur with the recommendation of the Planning Commission and approve the first reading for RZ 2024-003 Avis Budget Rental Car Storage Facility, a zoning map amendment and associated conditional rezoning agreement to conditionally rezone 2.6 acres of property, lots 4 and 5 and 6 of 29245 Wick Road, from C2 General Business to MT Industrial Transportation for the purpose of redeveloping the subject site for accessory off-site overflow vehicle storage, subject to a revised conditional rezoning agreement being provided.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to concur with the recommendation of the Planning Commission and approve the first reading for RZ 2024-003, Avis Budget Rental Car Storage Facility. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes?
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms.
I'll make
Roscoe.
the second motion to concur with the recommendation of the Planning Commission and approve special land use SLU 2024-006 for Avis Budget Rental Car Storage Facility located at 29245 Wick Road, subject to the conditional rezoning agreement, and revised site plan.
Need a second?
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to concur with the recommendation of the Planning Commission and approve special land use SLU 2024-006, Avis Budget Rental Car Storage Facilities. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. You're welcome, thank you. Thank you, Madam Clerk. At 6:45, we had a closed session meeting pending litigation. But at this time, I'm going to recognize Councilwoman Roscoe.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion, a resolution based on the discussion with the city attorney in closed session, that we move that the city authorize up to $5,000 to support the litigation against Wayne Disposal to prohibit radioactive material being disposed of at the Wayne Disposable Site in Van Buren Township.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Williams. And this, based on this document with the city attorney in a closed session, move that the city authorize up to $5,000 to support the litigation against Wayne Disposal, prohibited radioactive materials being disposed of at Wayne Disposal Site in Van Buren Township. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Next, I want to bring up one of the most hardworking persons in the city of Romulus, well-known Ms. Jasmine Dancy.
All right, I just want to say, we had a very successful 2024 Pumpkin Festival. I want to thank Jasmine, our chair. You can see her and Joelle just look so beautiful tonight. So John, thank you for running the jazz, and Joelle, they're all inspired about keep the community going, just love her enthusiasm, and she keeps me really going. When you think you're down, she fires you up, so. I'll let Janice take it from here, but Janice, thank you so much for meeting you and everything you do for our community and helping out. So thank you very much for another successful year.
Of course, and thank you so much to Jerry. He's really just grown into this DDA director position. Last year was our first festival together, both myself as chair and him as director. And I think we've made things fun. That was our goal, is to make the festival more pumpkin-y. And so we did want to thank, the big push that we made when we started working together was to offset the costs of the festival with sponsors. And we really, that was our big push. And so I do want to recognize them. We've had record-setting sponsorships every year, the last 2 years, so it's been just keeps getting bigger and bigger and better. So Jerry, do you want to do those ones? or-
Yes, so we would just like to thank Carver Express, Raymond Environmental Services, OHM Advisors, Osborne Concrete, and John Lee Osborne Trucking, Five Star Billiards, Jonah Realty Ventures, ZYNP. ZYNP made a sponsorship and even had volunteers, which was huge. Infinity Homes, US Ecology Holdings, Public Service Credit Union, Sheets Gas Station, ATP, All American Gutter, First Choice Urgent Care, J&M Towing, Ashley Capital, Melvin Bourne, UAB for the 5K, thank you very much, PLAM for the 5K, Herb Reynolds, Amazon Northpoint, Home City Ice, and Black Spring Houses. I cannot say enough about them. They always make sure our community looks beautiful and donates every year, so we, thank Black Spring Houses. And this year we have a new sponsor, Metro Parks Golf Carts. Barb Bainer was on board with us, and her husband works at the Metro Park, so it's just a little contract and signing. We were able to get 2 golf carts to help us out for our festival this year, which was huge. And so we just would like to thank our sponsors, and I'm going to turn the microphone over to Jasmine again, and thank you.
So in addition to our sponsorships, we've also had such great support from other people in the community that gave in-kind donations on top, above and beyond all of our sponsorships. So of course, our Department of Public Works, they put in so many hours to help us get set up and tear down. We also obviously want to thank all of our committee members who have been meeting all year on this and putting in time outside of regular hours. Fire department, police department, just everybody here at the city. Obviously, our very own Rotary Club for the work that we do on the parade, and our friends at the Huron and Belleville Rotary Clubs, because our club couldn't do it on our own either. So that's been great to bring in other partners. And also want to recognize UAB. They really stepped up this year. Thank you to Tina and your team for sponsoring the whole fun zone. That took a big cost burden off of our festival, and it was bigger and better than before, and so much fun, free activities for the families that come. And also before we conclude, I want to let Joelle talk about her favorite part of the festival.
And just want to thank the DDA board too for always helping and supporting, as well as the city of Romulus council members and the team and the staff and everybody here. So thank you, and also to our vendors and food trucks. We just want to thank them too. So thank you guys once again. We appreciate all the support and look forward to next year. Right, Joelle?
All right.
All right.
All righty, thank you.
Everybody.
Good job.
To the chair.
Yes, Ms. Talley?
Just one comment, and thank you, Jasmine and Jerry, for the shout out to UAB. But and I would be remiss if I didn't shout out to one of the sponsors of UAB, who has our sponsorship that just very helped us with our sponsorship, and actually a member is here tonight, North Point. I just want to shout them out. Mark, I know I'm sorry, I just got to shout you out. He's here, so I just want to shout out North Point for their sponsorship and help us to do what we do in this community to help bridge gaps in our community to help our city. So, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor?
Thank you, through the chair. Yeah, I just want to commend Jerry and the team. So many volunteers in this community come out to make another success, and we tasked Jerry up with building this event up. We've seen it start to slow down in its popularity in its 21st, 22nd year. COVID was a negative impact on it, and they brought some new energy to it. Jazz and the Rotary have really stepped up with the Parade of Lights. It was the best parade I've seen in years. I heard a lot of great things about it. So we continue to build this event to make it the one that people want to come to, and then Councilwoman Talley and the UAB team for building up and taking the lead on running on Sundays, and I saw the biggest crowd ever on Sundays as well, too. So we continue to build these things up and do our hometown proud. So great job to everyone involved, and we still need volunteers. It doesn't happen without volunteers, and we're still lacking. So if you're out there and you want to be a part of the community, be part of something positive, come on out and give these guys a hand, and I'm sure Jazz can dig around and find you a beanie if you want to wear a beanie, or put that camera on John and show that orange pumpkin hat he's got on, too. So thank you to everybody involved. I appreciate it.
Thank you. If there's no other comments, that concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
I second that motion.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Thank you. Good evening, City Council, Madam Treasurer, Madam Clerk, Deputy Clerk, and those in the audience today, and also those at home. Before I get into my report, I'd like to draw your attention to the monitor for a message from Vanessa Tolliver in the Mayor's office.
Hello, I'm Vanessa Tolliver, and here are some events happening in Romulus. Reminder, the Free Fall City Yard Sale will take place this weekend, beginning on Thursday. In the event of rain, the dates will be moved to October 3rd through the 6th. The Romulus VFW is having their famous tacos and margarita night this Friday, September 27th, from 5 to 7 p.m. On Saturday, the VFW will host Family Feud Game Night. Doors open at 6 p.m. You must be 18 or older to participate. The city is holding a free drive-through community shirt day on Saturday, September 28th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Romulus City Hall complex located at 11111 Wayne Road. For more information, please call the clerk's office at 734-955-4540. Attention family, friends, veterans, and others that have a brick located at the Romulus Veterans Monument on Wayne Road in the municipal complex. Please contact the City of Romulus Treasurer's Office as soon as possible at 734-942-7580. To those who would like to purchase a brick and memorialize a friend or loved one that served our country in the military, please complete the application that can be found on the website. If you have any questions or would like more information, the Veterans Monument Community meetings will be held at Romulus VFW Post 78 on the following dates. Free dumping days for excess trash and up to 3 bulk items will take place on the south lot of the DPW on October 10th through October 12th. The hours for Thursday and Friday are 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. and 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday. Tickets are now on sale for the Daddy-Daughter Dance. Join us for a night of fun on Thursday, October 17th from 6:30 to 8:30 at Romulus High School cafeteria. Tickets are $20 per couple and $5 per additional daughter. Tickets must be purchased in advance online or in person at the Recreation Department. Spots are extremely limited and the event is sure to sell out. Thanks everyone, and remember to like and share us on Facebook and on YouTube, and visit our website for more information. And make sure to have yourself a great night.
Thank you, Vanessa. A lot of great information. Just a quick update on the injunction. There's a lot of topic of discussion with the radioactive waste that was heading to Van Buren in recent days, and I want to thank Council for the unanimous resolution opposing that, and also for supporting our participation in the injunction filed by Van Buren and Belleville and Canton Township. We're going to continue to drum up more support. This is a regional issue, and even though the city approved up to $5,000 to participate in there, it's a much larger cost. It's a small part that Romulus is paying, and this one we are not running the lead on it. But it's a regional issue. It's not just Van Buren on their own. We don't want to see that come here. So we're going to continue to fight. We'll continue to keep everybody updated on that journey. But you know, Romulus is not new to this fight against hazardous materials coming to our area. So it's nice to have on this, and we have other multiple communities around us that are sharing the fight. So stay tuned on information on that one. Also, I want to thank everybody who came out to the One Romulus meeting at Pentecostal Baptist Church last week. We had another great conversation there, and we learned about more issues from the residents. So we're continuing to be doing those meetings, sharing conversation with our neighbors. And also, I wanted to make sure that City Council got their updates from action items at the last council meeting. There were some items that were asked questions, and Chief of Staff made a report for you, so I want to make sure everybody got that. And then I will get into my action items. The first action item I have for council tonight is the 2024 Relay for Life event. 2 motions are required for temporary road closures.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that first motion.
Okay.
To concur with administration and authorize the closure of Goddard Road from 5 5 points to Moore Street on October 5th, 2024, from 2:45 p.m. to 4 p.m. for the Relay for Life Color the Cure Walk.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo, to concur with the administration and authorize the closure of Garter Road from 5 points to Moore Street on October the 5th, 2024, from 2:45 p.m. to 4 p.m. for the Relay for Life Color the Cure Walk. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, and motion is approved. Got another one.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that second motion to concur with administration and authorize the closure of Hunt Street between the post office, the driveway will not be blocked, and Bivens Road on October 5th, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. for the Relay for Life luminary ceremony.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to concur with administration and authorize the closure of Hunt Street between the post office, the driveway will not be blocked, and Bivens Road on October 5th, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. for the Relay for Life luminary ceremony. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you. The next action item I have is an agreement and license for the Romulus Athletic Club, better known as the Romulus Flyers Youth Football. I concur with the recommendation of Colleen Dumas, Recreation Department Director, and the recommendation of legal counsel. I respectfully request council authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached agreement with the Romulus Athletic Club to allow use of Elmer Johnson's Park for the purpose of football practice, football games at the end of the season from October 1st, 2024 through November 8th, 2024 on Tuesdays through Fridays from 4 p.m. until 8:30 p.m.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to concur with the administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached agreement with the Romulus Athletic Club to allow the use of Elmer Johnson's Park for the purpose of football practice, football games, and end-of-the-season cleanup from October 1st, 2024 through November 8th, 2024, Tuesdays through Fridays from 4 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Williams, agreement and license for the Romulus Athletic Club for the Romulus Flyers. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. And if you hadn't had a chance to go out and watch those Flyers play on Saturday, go watch them out. They're off to another great start again this year, right? So they're doing a heck of a job representing our community.
Great coach.
The next item I have is for First Amendment to Development and Reimbursement Agreement. I concur with the recommendation of Kevin Kraus, Director of Community Safety and Development, and Steve Hitchcock, City Attorney, and respectfully request City Council authorize the Mayor and Clerk to enter into the attached First Amendment to the Development and Reimbursement Agreement between the Tax Increment Finance Authority and the City of Romulus and North Point, Lordstown 173 LLC. Just to bring you up to speed on that one, that was the $1 million that Tifa agreed to put towards infrastructure improvements on that site where North Point's development. Right now, we're working on a reimbursement part. We make them do the work, require the work to be completed before we work on the reimbursement. They're halfway done, so we're working on a reimbursement for the $500,000, with the $500,000 we're holding until it's complete.
Oh, okay, great.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I'm
Mr.
going to
Wadsworth.
move that we approve the First Amendment to the development and the reimbursement agreement between Tifa and Northport and the city.
Support.
Been motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for First Amendment to Development and Reimbursement Agreement. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. The next item I have up for action is a request for qualifications from consulting engineering firms for lead line replacements. I concur with the recommendation of Roberto Scapitici, DPW Director, and Christina Parker, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request City Council award the contract for support services associated with the design, administration, and inspection as part of the STAG grant to be awarded to the city for the location removal of lead water pipes for drinking water services lines for the Department of Public Works to the only company that submit, the only company to submit is OHM Advisors.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for RFI 24/25-01 for the request for qualifications from consulting engineering firms for the lead pipes for the drinking water services for the Department of Public Works.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth for RFI 24/25-0101, request for qualifications from consulting engineering firms, which is a lead line project. Any discussion?
Yes, John.
Ms. Williams?
So, is it a list of addresses or locations where they will be replacing the lead line?
We don't have a definitive list where the work will take place. Part of this work will be exploratory. There's some places where we believe are lead service lines, but we haven't identified them yet. So the first step is to correctly identify them and build that list. And I just wanted to add, too, that this is going to be paid for or funded through a $1 million grant that we received through the EPA.
So when a list is compiled, can we get a list of it?
Absolutely. We can have DPW do an update and progress update for council if you'd like.
Thank you.
Are there any other discussion? If not, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. The next item I have is a piggyback with Omnia Partners Contract 01-152 for annual licensing fees for the Adobe Pro, and that's annual software licensing that multiple city departments depend on. I concur with the recommendation of Jennifer Madison, Assistant Technology Services Director, and Christina Parker, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request Council's authorization to piggyback on the Omnia Partners Contract 01-152 for the purchase of 25 licenses for the Adobe Pro from Zones Incorporated at a total cost of $19,308. Gary Harris, Assistant Finance Director, has verified funds are available for this purchase.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to piggyback on the Omnia Partners Contract 01-152 for the annual licensing fee for the Adobe Pro for 24-25 licenses in the amount of $19,308.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Williams, piggyback on Omnia Partners Contract 01-152 for annual licensing fee for Adobe Pro. Any discussion? No discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And that concludes my report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
And number 6 is the clerk's report. Good evening again, City Council. I do have 3 action items, but first I have a couple of announcements
Okay,
that I'd
great.
like to make. First, just want to announce to everyone that AV ballots will begin mailing them out on this Thursday, September 26th, which also means that AV ballots are available for those who are not on our permanent list. They can come to the clerk's office and request an absentee ballot. Also, again, for those residents, if you're receiving mail that's questioning your registration, you can call us, but toss it. These are third-party groups And a rule of thumb, if you voted in the August election, you're registered, okay? So, but we're still getting a lot of calls, unfortunately, from residents who are receiving a lot of mail that is, it's quite confusing for some and concerning for those. So we just want to kind of keep beating this drum, letting people know that if you have any questions, to contact the clerk's office when it comes to your registration. But if you participated in the August election, even the February election, you are registered, and some of this mail, just toss it, unless it comes from me directly, okay? Also, we want to talk about on elections, there is a Defending Democracy Town Hall meeting that is going to be held on Monday, October the 14th, from 1 o'clock to 2:30, and it reads, join the City of Romulus City Clerk, yours truly, along with our Attorney General, Dana Nessel, and also the Deputy Secretary of State, and we'll be discussing how we can safeguard our votes and ensuring fair and secure elections across Michigan. This will be held, again, on Monday, October the 14th, at the Romulus Athletic Center from 1 o'clock to 2:30 p.m. So we're inviting everyone and all the residents, if you can make it to that town hall meeting, to please attend. Also, it was, Vanessa announced about our citywide garage sale this week. A list of those locations are posted on our city website. It's on our Facebook page, and it's also posted in the Associated News. And then we also have some hard copies here in the clerk's office if you want to obtain a copy. And also, City Council, going to ask for a memorial resolution. Adewami Bobo Ade serves on our Planning Commission Board, and he also serves on our Officers Compensation Board. And he lost his father, who was a Romulus resident, on August the 13th. And so they're having a celebration of his father's life on this Friday, September the 27th at 6 o'clock p.m. I can always email this information for you. I just received it today, but I asked if council would adopt a memorial resolution for Reverend Dr. Wole Bobo Ade. I think I said it right. And then this, again, this is Adewami Bodo Ade's father.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Support.
Who supported it? Ms. Abdo? It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo for memorial resolution. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved.
Thank you, council. And for going into my action items, and 6A, we're asking approval for second reading and final adoption of a budget amendment 2425-9. This is in the amount of $18,000, and this is to recognize funding from the Institute of Responsible Government and corresponding expenditures. And this budget amendment was introduced at the September 9th, 2024 regular council meeting. And after the second, I just want to make a comment under the discussion part.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 24/25-9.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 24/25-9. Discussion.
Yes,
Madam Clerk.
thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to thank the council for approving this, and we received our funding today, actually, so ironically, this worked out really good for the
Right.
approval. And again, this is, these funds will offset some of the, expenditures for running the election. Also, it's going to help us to pay for our election workers and make sure we're compensating them fairly. And also, it's just those unanticipated costs that come with running an election. So again, I just want to say thank you for your support with this grant. And also to thank you to our deputy chief, because he was very diligent in going after these funds so we could have that. So thank you again.
Thank you. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. I said deputy chief, it's deputy clerk. Thank you. Okay. He liked that.
You like that, huh? Okay.
Thank you, I'm sorry. Let's see, 6B, we have a study session request. Our city treasurer, Stacy Page, is requesting a 45-minute special meeting study session for Monday, October 14th, 2024 at 6:15 p.m. And this is to discuss the quarterly investment report. The date and time are available for this request. And just a side note that afterwards, there is a public hearing that was already previously scheduled on that same night for 7 o'clock p.m.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to approve the study session request for Monday, October 14th, 2024 at 6:15 p.m. to study this, for the study session to discuss the quarterly investment report.
Support.
The motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Williams, for study session request for Monday, October the 14th, 2024 at 6:15 p.m. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. And the last action item under the clerk's report, and this is for first reading and introduction for an amendment to Chapter 62, Article 4, Section 62-357 through Sections 62-369 of the Romulus Code of Ordinance. So we're asking council to concur with the recommendation of our city attorney and finance director and approve the first reading and introduction to amendments to the sections as stated in our city code of ordinances.
Need a
Asking
motion?
for approval.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to concur with recommendation of the city attorney and finance department and approve the first reading and introduction to amendments to Chapter 62, Water and Sewer System, Article 4, Combined Systems, Section 62 through 357 through 62 through 369 of the City of Romulus Code of Ordinances.
Need a second.
I second that motion, and I got a comment.
Okay. It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, for first reading and introduction of amendments. Chapter 62, Article 4, Section 62-357 to Section 62-369 of the Romulus Code of Ordinance. Mr. Talley?
Yeah,
Discussion.
just a comment, just make sure we go back to the document, I see some typos in here, so if we can just make sure we go back through those, and get those corrected, that's it.
Okay. Ms. Williams?
Yes, and this would be to the city attorney. It's saying that this amendment, it limits department authority to promulgate rules and regulations related to the operation of the water and sewer system. But in the document, it says the department, it still has that in there, the department shall have the power to promulgate rules and regulations relating to the operations of the water and sewer system. Now, it goes on to say, council shall approve all of the rules and regulations. What was wrong with it from the original reading, other than leaving council to make the final approval and removing the mayor? I mean, because you reworded it, but it don't read right to me. Because it's saying one thing in the letter that you, the document that you presented to us, and it's saying something totally different, the way I'm reading it in this amendment.
No, based on the comments you gave last time about this particular section, which at that point in time was taking any authority from the council and giving it to the mayor. And this one breaks it down into two different types of authority with regards to the operation of the department. If it's just an operational rule and regulation, how they're going to do things, that is made by the department head. But if it applies to any of the rules that apply to the use of the water system by any of the residents, that's in the council's authority. So, something like who's going to do what in the department is just an operating regulation. If it's rates, if it's when somebody's going to get cut off from using the water or anything like that, then it would be within the authority of the council.
And I totally understand. I was just concerned because it reads one way in the letter that you presented, and then it reads totally different in the amendment document.
No, maybe you don't have the right amendment then.
62
359.
dash 359.
Yeah.
It says in the document you gave, they have limits. But then in the amendment, it said it shall have the power. So it's,
Well, the language in the document does say, the department shall have the power to promulgate rules and regulations relating to the operations of the water sewer system, period. But then it says, council shall approve all rules or regulations that relate to the public's right to the use of the water and sewer system.
to me, it's that was not my concern of the issue, but I was just trying to understand what you were saying to us to approve this amendment, because the letter, as I said before, is saying one thing, but the document is saying something different. So that's my, I'm done, John.
Okay, if there's no other discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
No,
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Abstain.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That concludes the clerk's report. Number 7 is the treasurer's report.
Good evening. I just have a
Yep.
few reminders.
Hold on just 1 second.
5 votes.
To approve the ordinance, you're going to need 5 votes.
We don't have it.
Second reading.
1, 2.
All you're doing tonight is moving forward, so the final four.
This is the first reading.
Yeah. Also, I can, through the chair, just Councilman Abdo, to abstain means there's a financial conflict, or there's, when we abstain. So it's either has to be a yes or a no vote. So just moving forward, when we abstain.
It's not clear in here.
No, we abstain because there's a financial, conflict, and that's the only time that when you abstain. But in this instance, it has to be a yes or a no vote, and the attorney can correct me if I'm wrong, according to Robert's rule.
You're correct.
I'll vote no then, until it's clarified.
Motion
Through the
failed.
chair,
Yes.
just a quick question so we can make sure we get the right information. What is the part that's ambiguous, or just so we can make sure we're tracking down the correct information the council would like to see? The intent behind the language proposed to change this to draw a clear delineation between the operation of the department, means the functionality of the department from a day-to-day basis, main breaks, maintenance, and watering, buying equipment, and that'll fall under the jurisdiction of the department head. But as far as the rules that they operate by, that will be by the legislative branch, which is the city council. So we tried to find the language that clearly stated that separation of powers, really. So if that isn't there, I'd like to have some suggestions or whatever you'd like to see.
Well, I remember the issue was that the council was scratched out and it was replaced with the mayor. So that's all that needed to be done. We already know that the department makes the daily decisions, because they can't wait for council to vote.
Well, the original language said that city council made those, so we're trying to draft that language. And you're right, the first shot at trying to modify that language did remove council and insert mayor. That wasn't a good way to do it. So we talked to some of the council members, tried to find some language that met, and they clearly did identify that, because we don't want to have in the ordinance that's incorrect. That's what we tried to craft here. That it shows the operation of the day-to-day operation of that department will go to that director, department head. But as far as the rules that they run the department by, will be under the jurisdiction of city council.
But see, I understand what you're saying, and I agree, but that's not what it says in the letter from the attorney. And that's why I was a little confused. I would have accepted it just as it originally said, because we know the department make the day-to-day decisions, and just remove mayor and leave it as council, because originally, remember, council was scratched out. And so
Right.
that was
But
the big
that was the
issue.
incorrect language. That's why we tried to modify that. That said that council ran the operations of that department too. It wasn't a big deal, but, we know we don't want to convene council every time there's a main break. We're just trying to clear it up in the process. So we will, we can take some comments if you'd like to give them, or whatever language you'd like to see modified that clearly identifies it for you. Feel comfortable with it, let me know, and we'll try again.
Thank you.
Okay. That concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Number 7 is the treasurer's report.
Thank you, and good evening. I'd like to remind everyone that September 30th is right around the corner. Property taxes are due. Please make sure that if you owe on those, you visit the treasurer's office. You can call and make a payment by phone. You can mail it in, but I wouldn't recommend it because we're so close to the due date. And of course, if you have any questions, you can call the treasurer's office at 734-942-7580. And then I'd like to, I know it was in the announcements with Vanessa, but I really want to stress the importance. If you have a brick out there, well, you did with the Veterans Memorial, it is urgent that you call the treasurer's office. And again, you can call me at 734-942-7580. If you have a brick, or if you know of somebody that has a brick out there, it's really important they get a hold of the treasurer's office. And that is it for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer.
Number 8 is public comment, and this is the portion of the agenda for those who are in the audience. The rules to address City Council can be found on the back of the agenda. To address City Council, raise your hand, and after being acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name. Please note that members of the public who submitted a public comment card will be called upon first. You will have 3 minutes to speak, and any additional time will be upon the consent of the chairperson. Mr. Chair and Council, I do have 2 written requests.
Okay.
The first written request is from Councilwoman Deartris Richardson. Yes, ma'am. Councilwoman. Please approach the podium.
What? Oh, okay.
Good evening. I am here
I am sponsoring a community forum prevention program. It is Saturday, October the 5th, from 10 to 1 at the Bookadoja Recreational Complex, located in Inkster on Middlebelt Road. This is the second community forum that I've had. Who we have is Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabree. He will be talking about property tax concerns, and you can set up property plans, payment plans there. Also, I have the Wayne Metro Community Action Agency. They will have payments and talk about programs. They have payments for water bills and sewage. They have weatherization programs, rental assistance, and more. Also, I have Michael Richard, Wayne County Veterans Affairs. He would discuss the concerns of veterans, programs available for them and their families. I will have the American Red Cross, free smoke detectors. You can sign up and they will come to your home. I will also have the State of Michigan Secretary of State mobile unit. You can come and renew your tags, driver's license, state ID, whatever you need, everything except testing. They will not be due testing on that day. This is the state is by appointment only. They will have appointments every 10 minutes. So my number's on the flyer. You can call and set up a time if you need these services. I also have a gentleman, Wiggins Roofing, who has information regarding free roof programs for commercial and residential. 25% off roofs, financing available, senior discounts, mention your church and get a discount. This is all open to all Wayne County residents. I want anyone that needs any kind of services to please feel free to come and take advantage of this. Thank you. I can leave flyers with you? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilwoman Artis.
Also, just want to correct, and Councilwoman, please forgive me here, I didn't mean any disrespect. This is the Inkster, she's the Councilwoman of District 6 in the city of Inkster, so please forgive me.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair and Council, we do have another written request, and this is from Martell Bivings.
Good evening. How's everyone today? As already stated, my name is Martell Bivings, and I wanted to come and introduce myself to the Romulus government. I am running for United States Congress in the 13th Congressional District, which encompasses Romulus, one of the 20 municipalities of the district. I am running against Cherie Tanadar. A bit about myself: I have a background in economic development. I'm a graduate of Howard University, a graduate of Cody High School. After graduating Howard University, I worked with Senator Carl Levin in Washington, D.C. Came back home, worked for State Representative Sherry Gaten-Yogo and then Councilman Scott Benson. And I was an advisor to Mayor Duggan as a District 4 Business Liaison with the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation. And in the time at the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation, I was able to help to open over 50 businesses. I was able to bring back the first Black-owned grocery store in the city of Detroit. I served under Councilman Benson as his Budget Audit Finance Standing Committee Director, so I knew where money was housed in the city. So once I went over to the DGC, I knew where to ascertain funding to help small businesses grow and thrive. I'm a former banker at First Independence Bank, Michigan's only Black-owned headquartered bank. In that time there, I was able to help over 25 businesses with commercial lending and 35 new homeowners. It is my desire to begin to strengthen and expand America's middle class, our district's middle class, and I know we do that by allowing residents to have access to homeownership. We have a lot of residents that are paying between $900 and $1,300 for rent. I think that $913 can go to mortgage. I want to alter the federal banking regulation that says a mortgage lender should be able to see that as a viable source, as one being able to pay for a mortgage. I would like to give tax breaks to existing homeowners so that at the end of the year, everything that they paid for home repair, may it be a new broom, a light fixture, roofing, it's all a tax breaks to them. I think we should increase our teachers' pay. One of the things that got me out of Cody into college is I'm a classically trained ballet dancer, so I will always support arts education. and I just wanted to come out and introduce myself to you, and maybe have a moment today or another time to discuss what's needed and how I could best advocate for you guys. I am on the Republican side, but some of the things I just mentioned should be able to allow you to glean that I'm an extremely moderate Republican. And I think anyone who represents this district all the way, Romulus and Wayne is our westernmost part of the district, and our easternmost part of the district is Lake St. Clair. So I have people in this district making $2,000 annually, and I have people making $500,000 quarterly. And we need to have someone in the middle that has the ability to build relationships, negotiate, and legislate for both sides of that spectrum in this district. So again, thank you for your time, and I look forward to interfacing with you in the weeks and months ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, that was the last written request.
Are there any other comments from the audience? If there's no other comments from the audience, Madam Clerk, close it out.
Thank you. Number 9 is unfinished business.
Through the chair.
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
First of all, I want to thank Julie for giving us this update, but I did get a couple calls this week. In fact, it was this weekend that there were still Sheets overnight parking. I asked the two people that called me, I said, for now on, would you take a picture so that I can send it? And they said they would. But the same trucks were there for 2 nights.
Yeah, we have PD visited on a regular basis. We worked with North Point. We're working with Sheets. I have photographs I've taken with my phone, so we're going to stay on them. Sheets is trying to curb the behavior, and they're also working on additional signage. But right now, they're parked right in the fire lane, and we're going to stay on them until they learn. But we've issued multiple citations on it.
Then the other call I had was concerning cable TV. Are we broadcasting on cable TV? Because they said they cannot get it on cable TV. Okay. Can we look into that? They
Yeah.
said they haven't been able to get us on cable TV.
They said the last meeting was an issue, but we should be broadcasting right now, but we can definitely confirm with Mike, and if we're not, we'll make sure we take steps to make sure that's right.
Okay, and I have one other phone call. Concerning Marianne Banks Park. Thank you, Julie, for getting me all this information. I have what we approved on Marianne Banks Park back in 2022, and what we approved is not what was built. Specifically, the pathway. We approved a pathway that was going to go around the park, and instead they just cut straight through the park. What they have at the park is not what this drawing, and we approved through OHM. And I just think if we are going to change stuff after, it should come back to council. And I can show you, I'll be glad to show you the drawing. I talked with Jerry, he wasn't familiar with it. I said, this is what we approved, because you guys got it to me, and it went right, a pathway around the park, behind the ice rink. Instead, they put the pathway across the middle of the park, and
I'll take
I
a look at it.
personally think it doesn't look good at all.
Okay, I'll take a look into it.
All right, I'll show you afterwards. All right, I just wanted to say, if there are changes to stuff we approve, it should come back to council. I don't know how council feels, we approve a drawing, and then they change it, and I don't think that's acceptable.
No, we'll take a look and make sure what was contracted for
All right, I'll
and
show
meets
you
the requirements of the grant that that was installed, so we'll look into it.
New business. Is there any new business? If there's no new business, number 11 is warrant.
No, under new business, you want right over that.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
go back to new business.
Okay.
Number 10.
I have 2 things. First of all, I agree with Mrs. Abdul about the park. But Mayor, since the last meeting, I've had quite a few phone calls. People have come to my house, and they want to know the old Fred Hay property. I finally went there and looked. They claim that 1 week in the open field, there'll be 15 to 20 cows. Then the next week, the cows are gone, and there's sheep in there, 10, 15 sheep. And the next week, they're gone, and there's been some pigs in there. And this past week, there's been 5 ostriches in there. Now, I don't know if they're running a business or an enterprise, but let's find out what's going on. I
Yeah,
really
we
didn't.
can get some answers on that. I know it's always been a farm.
Yeah,
Even when
I
Fred
know
owned
it's,
it,
you
had
know,
the
and I
horses
didn't pay
back.
that much attention to it, but in fact, these few people wanted to come here tonight and to talk about it, and I said, let's have the administration find
Yeah.
out what's going on.
We can look into it, get some answers, find out what,
And, you know, the day they're there, the next day they're gone, and a new set of animals come in. And if they're doing some type of an enterprise or something, I think, you know,
Take a look
it should
at it.
be permitted at least. Okay,
we'll look into it.
thank you.
Ms. Williams?
Yes, to the mayor, the gas station, I'm thinking is mobile. At the corner, that would be Wick and Middle Belt. I'm thinking it's more gas causing, because why would they be $4, over $4 when everybody else done dropped down to $2, or at least $3? So we definitely need to look at that. They've already been warned twice to stop, and they're back at it again. I want to say it's Mobile or either Amco, but it's right there on the corner of Middle Belt and Wick.
It's BP station.
Yeah, there's definitely scalpers.
Yeah. That's my job.
Okay.
I'm done.
Is that all of the new business? Okay. Takes us to number 11, approval of warrant 24-18.
Through, excuse me, through the chair, I make a motion, we pay warrant 24-18 in the following amounts. General fund, $161,869.19. Major street fund, $2,154.67. Local street fund, $9,144.27. Public safety fund, $35,425.22. Cable TV, $801.11. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $6,030.94. Street Lighting Fund, $55,827.80. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $61.66. Oakwood SAD, $144.10. Tax Increment Finance Authority, $6,612.40. Downtown Development Authority, $21,948.84. Michigan Indigent Defense Fund, $16,016. 911 Service Fund, $1,304.22. Drug Law Enforcement Fund, $433.17. Library Fund, $8,986.93. 2014 Capital Improvement Bond, $10,000. Court Billing Construction Fund, $18,688.16. Water and Sewer Fund, $503,564.41. Motor Vehicle, $93,789.19. Technology Services, $6,902.87. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $10,451.17. Property and Liability Insurance Fund, $8,297. Revolving Fund, $2,946. Current tax, $28,802.99. Impressed Payroll Fund, $20,093.64. Delinquent Personal Property Fund, $20,707.15, totaling all funds, $1,051,303.10.
I second that motion.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 24-18 for $1,051,003.10. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. Council number 12 is communication.
Yeah, through the chair.
Yes, Ms.
Just
Talley?
really quickly, just recuperating from the great weekend we had with the Pumpkin Fest. So I just want to concur with everything that's been said from Jasmine Dancy and with the mayor. Just a great weekend, and thanks to everybody who came out and supported the whole weekend. It was a wonderful weekend. Everybody that participated, that helped make it successful, just thank you, and I'm recuperating. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams.
Yes, just to inform the residents, tomorrow we'll be at the high school with Forgotten Harvest from 10 to 12. Now, what I would like anybody to know that have animals, we have a company that will be there giving away dog food for dogs. It's all free. You're more than welcome. You have to be in line before 12 o'clock. We cut the line off at 12. So, and all is welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll steal your thunder a little bit. How about them Eagles? 40-0 on Melvindale the other day, so we gotta give a shout out to our Eagles for turning it around and getting that offense going, so. Now you can talk about them Lions.
Ms. Williams.
And just to correct something, the resident that actually was complaining about the gas station, it is BP.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Williams. Again, Mayor, go Eagles. We got a good team. Even the Tigers trying to do something.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you. Still a big fan. We 2-1. Still got a shot at the Super Bowl. Thank you. All right. All right. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
All right, well, if there's no more communication
I'm
from...
sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, one more quick thing. I'm sorry, I just want to recognize Charles Searcy, Coach Charles Searcy, Romulus High School football coach, for being our hometown superhero this year for 2024. We had a ceremony for him yesterday, and I just want to shout out to him, his team and family, and everybody that came and support him at the ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Talley.
Is there any more communication? Going once, going twice. Number 13 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
The motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We